Hello everyone, it's Chandanni with WeDharma.com. Well, I'm back from Hawaii. It was absolutely magnificent. The island, the big island, Kona, and especially the section of Kona, of the big island where we were staying called Kukio, which is a really magnificent place. I had the honor and the great privilege of going out into the ocean and swimming with dolphins. It was really it was sort of a dream come true, really, because when I was pregnant with each child, I had this fantasy about sort of being in a pool of water with these mystical, magnificent animals called dolphins, and it never happened because life doesn't happen that way. But I ended up actually swimming with them and diving into the ocean, far into the ocean that I've never done before. So I managed to sort of break a fear. I drank a lot of salt water while I was out there, and when I got back on the canoe, the waves were sort of going like this, and having salt water very early in my morning on an empty stomach made me really nauseous, and I had to sort of be canoed back to shore. But I did actually achieve diving in there and being around these magnificent mammals that are more mysterious to me than they were before, having gotten so close to them. They're called spinner dolphins up in that region, and they're not that big. The reason why they're called spinners is because they shoot up and they spin around and then they dive back in again. So they did that a couple of times. There were tons of them. I mean, tons, like schools, probably about, I don't know, a couple hundred of them just in different schools going up and down, and we'd see them in the distance, and we'd be, canoeing, there were two canoes filled with like people, our friends, and we'd be like, like in the water. Anyway, so Hawaii was magnificent. So Christopher and I have 8 years under our belt, which feels, apparently Chris told me it means we've like gotten the bronze medal. It's a bronze thing. So in the Olympics, getting the bronze is not that great, but at least you won, right? So 8 years we get the bronze. It's pretty good. I wanted to share today a little excerpt of this magnificent book I'm reading right now by my teacher, Osho. And as you all know or don't know, Osho spent his entire life dedicated to sharing the idea of consciousness and the evolved human being to people by speaking to them. He never wrote anything. Well, I think he wrote some poetry, but he basically, all his books that are out there in the world are transcriptions of his speakings. And the prolific nature of this beautiful human being that lived life as totally as any human being can and could is sort of the ultimate inspiration in my life, the seed of that which feeds my soul and hedges me on and into the plunge of my own evolution and destiny. So I wanted to, people always ask me about Osho and what is he all about, and there are like all these sort of sordid reputation about him that people have heard about, and what's his teaching, and there's so many things. But in this book, which is called The Last Morning Star, which is him speaking on the enlightened mystic Dea, who's an amazing enlightened saint of India a long time ago, but Osho really loves and reveres women, and when he speaks about women, it's just such a gift. It really feeds the epitome of what the divine feminine upholds as far as devotion and nurturing, and the aspect of autonomous power. So I wanted to read you this little section that this book, I could read page to page, but basically I just want to read you this little section because it sort of like summarizes his philosophy, his sort of way of approaching life, his idea of what living this life means. So I'll just read it to you because I think it's so simple and so beautifully spoken, and hopefully I can do it justice by reading the words as clearly as he spoke them to be transcribed as. Okay, so here we go. So I say to you, go fully into life. Don't be afraid. Don't be frightened. This is the task that the divine has given you. You must ripen with experience. You will come back home only after having experienced. When you come back having experienced, your hands will be full of pearls. If you return after just having heard what other people say, you will only bring pebbles with you. Pebbles cannot bring you contentment. I also tell you that if life has no juice, please don't turn back simply because of what I say. Life is futile, I also tell you that, but my knowing is my knowing. How can it become your knowing? You cannot see with my eyes, you cannot talk with my feet, and my experience cannot become your experience. You must make it your own experience. Keep this as a deep remembrance. Someone has said that life is futile, but now I will look into it. So I think that just sort of like says it all, really. I don't think anyone could have given us a more liberating and individual standpoint in which to plunge off life, to go into life totally and individually, but to be aware, to be conscientious and present in the experience you behold and thrust into. So here we are in the middle of the road, always in the middle of the road, always in the middle of the sensation, always in the middle of the turning point, always in the middle of the moment. Here we are, here we stand together and ultimately alone towards this destiny called life, towards this majestic potentiality of everything we are and everything we can be. This is Chandanni with WeDharma.com, embracing the day today, Tuesday, which is a wonderful day because we get to go to see Amachi, who's a wonderful Indian saint here in Los Angeles. She traveled from India and travels all over the world. She does this beautiful ceremony called Devi Bhava tonight at the Hilton LAX. So if you're around, please do go. It's a free event. And she dresses up, she adorns herself as the Divine Mother. And there's chanting and blessing and great food and lovely people sitting together in the name of love. So if you're around tonight, 7 p.m. onwards, it goes all night long. Come join us. Otherwise, we'll see you soon. Chandanni, WeDharma.com, tuning out.